Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Dr. MOSHIN JAFFER, he is such a wonderful physician. He is actually the founder of Senior Medical Associates, leader in senior health care. And his motto is, together we can achieve the healthiest version of you. And that's perfect. So, Dr. Jaffer, it's great to talk to you, especially because of this, what we're having in front of us. And I just saw something on the web that said that the World Health Organization is calling this a pandemic. Is that true?
Well, it can be a little political, too. But it's going around the world, so it is a pandemic in that sense. It's everywhere, and it's going to circulate the whole globe. And we, as Americans, have to look at it with a pinch of salt. This year, up to February, there were 35 million cases of flu. And 18,000 of our fellow Americans died. So when you look at it in that context, you say, gee, we're not doing that bad. But it is bad because this virus has got no cure yet, nor is there a vaccine.
Yep.
And that frightens a lot of people, and it can be fatal because it can go into your lungs and kill you. But overall, there is no need for panic. And there is some sort of hysteria around the world. And we as individuals, we can only take our own personal precautions. You know, the simple things, masks are not important. Just wash your hands. Don't touch people's hands. Don't shake hands. Just do a fist bump if you even have to, or become like a Hindu, you know, do a namaste. Just or put a hand on your chest and say, I greet you, but I'm not going to touch your hand.
Right.
You know, and basically, touch it with the way we touch. If you go to a gas station, you know, use the napkin they provide you to touch the nozzle. If you go to a mall, make sure you got some napkins, so you touch the door handle with a napkin and throw it away. And keep your secretions to yourself. Don't pass it around. You don't want other people's secretions coming to you. So if somebody is coughing or somebody is sick, stay a little further away from them. Don't look at them directly and be less than 3 feet away from them. So these are the basic precautions. And then there's an element of luck also. And like in Seattle, they did a very good job. They found the first case, and they quarantined him, and they put him in a lockdown because they were preparing for Ebola, in case Ebola reached Seattle. And they did a very good job of isolating this person and having very good precautions all around him. And they traced down all the people he had come in contact with and found out all of them were okay. But guess what? One person they did not find, or they did not even know existed. And that person ended up in some nursing homes. And the virus started spreading.
Yep.
You see, so you cannot even be foolproof. It's so nefarious that, you know, touching somebody who doesn't know and takes it to all other places with no idea, doesn't get sick himself or herself. So many people can be sick with the virus, cannot even show the symptoms.
Well, I want to ask...
They go through the whole infection without even knowing that they were infected.
So my question is, when you have the flu, we don't treat each other like that. Do we do that? So is it as is it as easy to catch the flu as it is the coronavirus?
You see, there is a flu vaccine.
Ah, that's
so
right.
most people, especially the elderly, we are supposed to, the Medicare insist that you get it. Your MA plan would insist that you get it. No cost to you. It's free. Pneumonia and flu vaccine is a very good idea. And every year the flu changes, so the vaccine is a little different. And hopefully we anticipate what virus will be frisky, and we give you a shot against that. So that provides a good percentage of protection against a possible flu epidemic if we had one, you see, which we have now. So a lot of people who took a flu shot feel quite safe, and they feel they're protected. But still, you can get it even with a shot, less chances. But if you didn't take a shot, you can get a flu, and you can be horribly sick. And like I said earlier, 18,000 of our fellow Americans died.
And why did they die? Why did they die? They didn't take care of themselves, or
a lot of them were mainly they were sick and they were old and
Oh.
frail and either very young or very old, and they get this infection and they succumb to it because all infections start in your oral pharynx. That means in your nose or in your mouth, and then slowly it goes down into your lungs, and then in the lungs they cause a lot of mayhem and they cause secretions to be secreted. And you literally drown to death, which is a pneumonia.
Huh.
Yeah, pneumonia is the biggest killer in the world. In fact, until we had the antibiotics, people died young because if you got pneumonia, you died.
Really?
Thanks to antibiotics, now yes. But a viral pneumonia can be equally lethal, you see. And now they put you in ICU and you might survive with a respirator and whatnot. But if you are old and sick and have got multiple chronic medical conditions, your chances of survival are much less. And that's why 18,000 people have died so far.
Is that worldwide?
No, I'm talking about America. Our
America.
Country, that's it.
My God.
Yes, ma'am. 35 million got the virus. Those who were reported to get it. Maybe many more got it and never
Sure.
even knew they had a flu.
Sure.
But 18,000 died. See, so it's a very lethal virus, but since we have medicines for it, since we have a vaccine, we feel a lot more comfortable. And that's why we have discomfort with the coronavirus, because we don't have a vaccine and we don't have any treatment against it.
Right.
And we feel helpless and vulnerable.
True. So what would happen? Let's say you have a call from someone and they somehow complained, they have a cold, they have this. What are you doing with them? Are you letting them come into your office?
No, we tell them, look, if it's a cold, just monitor yourself. If you start getting high fevers and you get shortness of breath, then you need to go to a hospital and tell them your symptoms up front so they may isolate you and may treat you like a infected person from corona or some serious flu. But a mild flu, you can suffer it at home,
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of fluids, multivitamins, and vitamin C may help. But fruits and veggies, light meals, small meals, frequent. And don't stress your body, don't stress your digestive system. Therefore, have small meals more frequently. And do everything possible to bolster your immune system to fight the virus yourself.
Okay. So you have not really had any of your patients at this point concerned, or you're not concerned about
Thank God, no, not yet. It is in Broward County, we know that, but I think they're doing a pretty decent job, and I'm glad they made it, they declared an emergency, so they have more powers and more resources to their beck and call. But if I were a patient who was senior, I would not want to go to a doctor's office because maybe other people have come with similar symptoms and one of them, God forbid, has got a corona. I will get it,
Yeah, right.
So I don't want to go to a doctor's office willy-nilly unless this thing is really bad. So I should call my doctor and let his office know that, look, I'm having these symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
They will guide you and tell you how to sort of monitor yourself. So you are, in a way, self-quarantining yourself. But you're not exposing yourself to somebody else in a sick environment because, where is the dirtiest place in our county are the hospital emergency rooms and hospitals.
Right.
So those are dangerous bacteria. They are drug resistant. So similarly, if people have got corona and they're going there, so they're taking the corona to the hospital. So I don't want to go there unless I have got the disease and then I'm looking for help. If I just got a flu or an ordinary cold, last thing I want to do is go to a doctor's office or go to a hospital.
Correct.
So a lot of people may just have a reflex reaction that, oh, I'm sick, I better go to the hospital. I would strongly advise them to refrain from that, stay at home, and have a loved one monitor them also, and make sure that if they're getting worse, they're getting high fevers, they're getting short of breath, the cough is getting worse, then perhaps they need to have some guidance, and the doctor would guide them, or the hospital emergency room can guide them what to do.
Mm-hmm. And what about masks? People are deciding, for instance, people are hesitating to fly on airplanes now. Of course, people have canceled all their trips on cruise ships.
True.
So
cruise ship is a closed environment, so, the viruses have got more chances of spreading because somebody may have it and go around all around the ship and leave their viruses everywhere. And you unsuspectingly may just touch a doorknob that they touched. And lo and behold, you get the virus. So closed environments can be dangerous. That's why you don't want to go. Like I tell my elderly, don't go to your church services. God is forgiving. Do a digital church service. Don't go to the church. There's too many people there. Don't go to places where there are a lot of people there, and you don't know, God forbid, if one person has it, your chances of getting them are much higher now.
Now, how does that happen? Is it, let's say they're not coughing, is it just in the air? How does that happen?
You see, the virus, it can be up to 14 days. It can just cook in your body and not even produce symptoms, or you might have a very mild symptom. You might even think nothing of it. And you might even recover from it, not even knowing you had it. This is what makes it so dangerous, because the person who has it doesn't even know has it until they get really sick. That's why you want to avoid all the places where people who don't know they have it may be spreading it.
Right. So would you recommend that if a person was going to be flying somewhere that they still go on airplanes at this point?
Now, this is a very, very, very difficult question to answer. I'll tell you why. Because the airplane is a contained environment, and especially a few seats before and after you can be susceptible. If somebody's around you, one person, the few seats around them, they could spread it to them. The air filtration system in aeroplanes is pretty decent. They can filter out viruses. So the filtration system in the planes is good. They inject about 10-15% fresh air, but the rest of the air is all recycled. So people feel more than the aircraft, the dangerous part is the high traffic airports. You got thousands and thousands of people circulating.
Yep.
And if one person has it, his or her chances of spreading it are really enhanced. Can you imagine you end up in the airport? Just think about it. You land at the airport, you have the virus in you, you don't even know it. You touch the handrails, you touch this door, you touch that door, you go to the lounge, you go to this place, you go to the counter, you go all sorts of places, you go to another part of the airport, and then you check in the line, and then you finally board and you're gone. But in the process, you have touched surfaces, thousands of surfaces that others could possibly touch.
Right.
And you didn't know that. You're not so guilty because you don't even know you have the virus.
Yes.
Until maybe a few days later that you become really sick and then say, oh, my God. Then the authorities will try and backtrack where you were.
Right.
But you were at that airport yesterday, so now, for you got it. So I feel the airport is even worse than the plane.
Well, but you have to go to an airport to get on a plane, so I guess it's one of the same, right?
Yes, 22, indeed, yes.
Well,
so canceling a flight may be a prudent way to do it. It's going to shoot our economy down. And not going to the church, not going to a restaurant, not going to high traffic areas, and that's going to really curtail our commerce. But it might also bring down the spread. And hopefully within a month or two, we may have companies that are racing to bring about cures. And in a few more months, we'll have vaccines, hopefully.
Oh, I thought what I've been hearing is it's going to be a year. You don't think it'll take a year?
Well, already two companies have shipped vaccines to National Institute of Health to start human testing. So I don't know how good they are. And, of course, NIH will fast-track all these things. It won't be the same 2-year-long process, you see. It'll be much faster. A lot of safety measures we may be sacrificed to try and get a vaccine functioning as faster than normal.
Yeah, right.
So there are two companies that have done it already, so that's very encouraging. And like, for example, we've been working on SARS. SARS is another coronavirus that we've been working on. So there is already a game in play, you see, to try and get this family of coronaviruses under control. And virology is a very, very, very robust frontier. So that's our worst enemy. Bacteria, we can find antibiotics to kill them, but the viruses have been. That's why today there is no cure for common cold. It changes, it mutates. You see, the virus changes all the time. It doesn't stay the same. So far, good news is that the coronavirus has not mutated or not changed its characteristics yet. It might do so in time. And then suddenly our vaccine may not be as good. You might have to make a newer vaccine.
Oh, I see. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's why it's a very difficult game. And Mother Nature is still the winner.
Yes, Mother Nature is the winner. So what does corona mean? We talk about a virus, but when you said there was a corona, what is a corona?
Yeah, it refers to the virus's shape. You know, it looks, if you look at it, it looks like it's got a halo around it, like a crown around it.
Uh-huh.
So that's why they call it the coronavirus.
I see.
It's a family of viruses that under electron microscope looks like it's got a crown, like a halo.
I see. So that's what it is.
I'm sure you've seen, the news has been putting out pictures of that, and you can
They
see
look
that.
like space dolls to me. Space.
That's a good way to describe them.
That's what they do look like. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
I go to a particular theater, and they just put out an email, and it says, this is what they've been doing. They said, although no cases of coronavirus have been reported in Boca Raton, we're taking a proactive stance at the WIC Theater to increase the frequency of our cleaning service and have been disinfecting all areas of the building, including but not limited to handrails, doorknobs, armrests, and seats before every performance. Interesting, isn't it? So they are trying to do what they can.
But that's a good proactive measure for their patrons.
Yes.
I think it's a very nice thing to do, indeed, yes.
But
more cleaning, and that also reflects on us. We should do more cleaning, more hand washing.
now there is I have a question. So someone said, I read somewhere that hand washing is better than these disinfectants.
Yes, you're hoping the disinfectant kills the virus, but it's still on your hand. When you wash, you wash it in the drain. You take him away from your hand. So that's better. And soap, it lets everything float up. So it discharges the virus stuck on your skin into the soapy solution, which also is a killer of viruses. And you wash it away.
Okay. I am so glad that you were.
got rid of it, yeah.
I'm so glad that you were scheduled for the show today. I have to tell you, this is so perfect because I admire you so much, and I appreciate your knowledge, and so it is really important that our listeners hear this. And you're not panicking, but you're being very frugal, I would say.
I must confess, I'm not an expert on viral infections. I'm not a virologist or an infectious disease expert. But these are practical guides for any physician would give you based on what's really happening on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And panic is the last thing, but prudence is important.
Yes. So, and you said something about flu and about the flu shot and about the and having the pneumonia shot. Now, if someone hasn't had it at this point, is it too late for them to get it?
This is the tail end of the flu season, but it's still a good idea. You never know, it might boost your immunity. You see, it all comes down to immunity. Now, you say, what is immunity? It's our innate, natural defense within our body. Our body is equipped to fight bacteria and viruses that they come into our body, and our body says, you don't belong here. They manufacture antibodies. You've got these immune cells that detect you and say, you're a bad boy. So they find out what type of protein you are, and they find antibodies that will attack you and kill the virus, you see?
Yep.
Now, it may be very fast, so it may take days and days, or it might just be inundated and do nothing, and you get overwhelmed by the virus and you die.
Yeah.
So you see, that's what's happening just now with corona. But I'm sure a lot of people get infected by this, but their body says, we will find an antibody and kill them. Now, we don't know who these guys are, but probably it'll be good to know later on and get their serum and find out what antibodies they manufacture to kill them. But the bottom line is a good question comes to our mind. If you are a thinker, you'll say, in my office, every year we get a cold or a flu, and from cubicle to cubicle, everybody gets the cold. But there is one guy or one young lady or one person never gets sick. So have you ever said, what is about these people who never get sick?
Right.
The bottom line is that they have a very robust immune system. These bacteria or viruses that are affecting you are affecting them also. But their body is able to counteract that and manufacture the antibodies and kill them. So the next question would come to your mind, how can I be one of them? I want to be like that person, who never gets cold.
Yes.
So there are a few things we have found out from our experience that does boost your immune system.
Okay.
And
Name
that is regular exercise, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, because these are the best phytotoxins, ingredients to give your body the ability to build and keep your immune system high.
Okay.
The other thing is also that you reduce stress, because stress always causes your immune system to go down. So mental stress, that's why you fall sick when you're very worried, you see? Because you have become susceptible to infections. So reduce your stress. And the other thing is also hydration. A lot of people don't realize that, but they are dehydrated. So I would request all of your listeners to watch their pee. If nothing else, they'll remember Anita and Dr. Jaffer for recommending that they watch their pee every time they go to the toilet.
Okay.
If they look at the color and it's yellow, they are dehydrated.
Ah.
And I'll tell you why this is also important. Dehydration makes you tired, gives you a headache, and it makes your body function not at its prime. It's not working very well when you're dehydrated. But more so than that, when you are dehydrated, your immune response is also subpar. And God forbid, at that time you touch a surface and a virus comes into your body because you put your hand in your mouth, or you put your hand in your nose, or you rubbed your eyes. Now your body's ability to fight that virus is impaired because you are dehydrated and you are not at the maximum capacity. So you never want to be at that way. You want to be well hydrated throughout the day.
That's a very good explanation.
Then comes the other things, like you've heard about garlic,
yes,
and ginger, and turmeric, and cinnamon, and cardamom, and all this spicy leaves like basil, and all those things. And these things help you, so you could have more of them in your cooking. Or you can just take them just like that, take a pinch of turmeric every day, and cinnamon, and take more garlic, eat more ginger. This will sort of boost your immune system, and hopefully in these trying times, it'll give you that extra little edge you need so that you don't fall sick, even if you meet the virus.
You'll laugh at this, but I went to Publix yesterday. I didn't even know if I should be going shopping, and I bought, there's a new pasta that's turmeric. It's made with lots of turmeric, and I bought it.
Okay, you're on the right track.
Yeah, I always use turmeric in my soups and everything. You're right. And I wrote everything you said down, and it was such good advice. And I just think that people need to have a physician who talks like this. A lot of physicians don't. They don't even know better. They don't spend the time. But I know that you're such a wonderful doctor, and that your other doctors, I'm sure, you make sure that they do this, because now you're going to be getting phone calls. Have you been getting a lot of phone calls lately since this came out?
Yes, our doctors do get them, and we have already made a strategy on how to respond, how to, first of all, reassure, because a lot of people panic.
Right.
And there's no need to panic. We want cool heads to prevail, and we tell them what to do, and we guide them, and we tell them, look, we are here. Even after hours, our doctors are on call. They will answer you. Within 15 minutes, we call back. We insist
Fantastic.
our doctors all call back. But there's no need to panic and go and have really a fit over this.
But, you know, there are a lot of older adults who live alone, and that's why they're a little afraid.
Yes. So it's nice if your neighbor looks in on you. You know, I said this is an act of kindness. I would ask all the children of the seniors to call their parents more often now, especially you're calling only once a week. Call every day.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure mom and dad are okay. I know they are isolated. Sometimes I feel you can even order in. Thank God we got Uber Eats and
right.
and you know all those delivery guys. So many companies out there now.
Yep.
Rather than going to a crowded restaurant.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. If you can cook inside, cook your own meals. You know, it's much better.
It is.
Fresh and your own meals. Yes.
Well, as usual.
You can even get your groceries delivered. So
I know.
That's the beauty now.
I know you can. Yeah. Things have changed, hasn't it? So, Dr. MOSHIN Jaffer, wonderful, wonderful conversation. We thank you so very much for being a part of what we do and for helping us today to just listen to you. I think you are excellent. So thank you, and stay well yourself. We need you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you indeed.
Okay.
May good health prevail. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Jaffer. Goodbye.